Direct EDI has produced a comprehensive series of webinars to educate all members of the supply chain, accounting, and information technology community using our cloud-based offerings. These webinars are highly accelerated and abbreviated overviews. For information on topics not covered in this presentation, please contact Direct EDI. Hey Steve, what are we going to cover today?
Eric, today we're going to talk about integrating invoices for your trading partners. Specifically, we'll cover the built-in data substitution and user-defined translation tables functionality.
Great, let's get rolling.
Sweet. Let's first get to the invoice feed and navigate to Excel documentation. First off, a little bit of a background. Lookup capabilities are built-in functions of Universal Hosted Translator. They allow for the values to be automatically calculated and populated, and therefore alleviating the need for you as a mapper to have to map those values in. Once we have opened our Excel documentation, we will navigate to the lookup rules. Here we'll see the list of predefined values, columns, and the formulas that are being utilized for the data population rules. So the good news is, if you, for example, don't have the delivery requested date and time, and you don't provide that data when you're sending the invoice for translation to Direct EDI, the Universal Hosted Translator will look up that value from the purchase order on the first occurrence. As you can see that there are formulas, some of formulas are simple calculations, and the other ones are the lookup capabilities from the purchase order.
So Steve, am I limited only to this list?
No, these are the built-in functions of the Universal Hosted Translator. Any other lookup or data substitution capability that you may have to do, and you very well may have to do that, can be covered by the translation table setup, which we will cover next.
Great.
The need for the translation table arises between the conflict of requirements that are presented by your trading partners and your own internal business and technical capabilities. For example, your trading partner may be sending you a UPC ID as an item identifier, while you may be utilizing a buyer item code internally to identify that same item. Another example could be a location ID. It is very common that trading partners will send location IDs and not corresponding addresses for shipping addresses for those location IDs. Database table can handle that scenario as well. I'm going to show you how we can set that up on the Universal Hosted Translator. First, we'll start off with setting up a database table where all of the values can be created.
Steve, this looks like a pretty interesting interface. Is this what I would use as a customer of Direct EDI?
Absolutely. You would use it as a customer of Direct EDI, or if you have completely outsourced all of your services to us, then we would be using this interface on your behalf.
Oh, I see. So I can purchase services a la carte or complete self-serve?
Precisely, yes. Getting back to the database table. First, you give it a name. As you can see here, there is very little technical requirements in being able to set up a database table. Most of it is point-click. You provide the columns and the names for the columns. You can identify the primary key within the database table, and you can move the order of these columns around. But once you have created that database table, you simply click on Apply Changes, and the system does the rest. Once the database table has been created, the system will automatically generate a CSV file. It's a comma-delimited file that can be utilized as a template to populate the database table with the content. The population may take via this web interface. In other words, you could utilize this web interface to upload the content, or you could also automate the uploading of the content via FTP setup. Once we have the table defined, it is now time to tie it back to the purchase order or the invoice that we're trying to integrate. In the example, we've utilized the UPC ID, so let's go ahead and continue with this example. The objective here is, as we're receiving the UPC IDs from our trading partner, we want to convert that number to an internal buyer's item number that we have defined in the database table. We would find the field that we would like to substitute within the XML schema and click on the data substitution rule here. We will be asked to go through a 6-step wizard process to tie in the logic and describe the substitution rules that we're trying to combine here. Once I have completed we are pretty much done. So what's going to happen is every time a purchase order is received from the trading partner, UPC ID is going to get replaced with the corresponding buyer's item number, and the vendor will receive exactly that under purchase order. You could utilize the same database table to convert the data back from the internal buyer's item number back to the UPC code before you send the invoice to the trading partner.
Okay, and the universal hosted translator takes care of all of this in between my accounting or ERP system and my trading partner.
That's exactly correct.
Fantastic. Well, I appreciate the overview, Steve. It was quite quick, and I know there's several topics that we didn't cover. Please contact Direct EDI to learn more about all of our detailed offerings. Thank you.